and welcome to the show. My guest today is one of India's most colorful politicians. He's an academic, an intellectual, a zealous crusader, and some would say a maverick opportunist. I'm talking about Dr. Subramanian Swamy, the former parliamentarian, former union minister, and currently the national president of the Janata Party. Dr. Subramanian, it's good to have you on the show. Today, as we speak, are you feeling personally vindicated and triumphant? A. Raja is in custody.
He's gone to Tihar now.
He's gone to Tihar. You know, the Prime Minister did a live press conference with editors answering questions in front of the nation. Do you feel triumphant and vindicated, or do you feel impatient, and are you cynical of the outcome?
Well, I'm encouraged. I'm not triumphant or vindicated, because till the people who are behind it, there are many people, very important people, unless they are prosecuted and sent to jail on a sentence, there cannot be a vindication. But I'm certainly very encouraged. I'm particularly happy with the Supreme Court. I mean, Supreme Court has really shown that it's an institution which still has got a lot of life compared to academia and media and parliament.
In fact, you know, I didn't use one word to describe you, but I could well may have, and that is litigant, isn't it?
But never for myself.
But you have defended yourself in all those defamation cases that are filed against you.
That is not a litigant.
Yeah. But when I say litigant, it's someone who takes recourse to the law to find his battles, and as someone who actually argues in a court of law. Both.
Absolutely, I argue myself. The thing is that it's no use just giving speeches anymore. People are fed up with speeches and walkouts in parliament. They want action. And the courts are the only places where you're getting action, because the government is so unresponsive. So from that point of view, I've learnt law. I didn't take a degree, but I learnt law, and my wife is a lawyer, so she does all the dirty work.
But just for the record, as we speak, how many cases are you currently involved with?
Well, actually not many, but if you look over the last 30 years, not 30, 25 years, I would say I would have fought on public interest, about 45 cases, and I won almost all of them.
And as we speak?
As we speak, I would say right now I'm in 6 major cases.
Dr. Swamy, what gives you this kind of incredible confidence in the law and in the judiciary? And that doesn't mean there shouldn't be. I'm just saying what gives it to you, because most people are hesitant to get into court. So where do you get this
you have to
confidence
develop
from?
a taste for it. If you enjoy going to court and the hassle of getting in, sitting, waiting for your turn to come, and then the paperwork, and then running around serving notices. Once you get over that, and you don't hesitate and don't mind going to court, it's really a very, very intellectually enriching experience. And I would suggest that law should now be made compulsory in schools.
I want to go back to what happened this week, the week we are speaking. I'm sure you watched the Prime Minister's live press conference pretty closely. Explain to the public what they should understand as the quantum of losses in the 2G spectrum case, because in this conference, Dr. Manmohan Singh was quite equivocal. And he seemed to tilt in the favor of what Mr. Sibal has been saying about the size of the losses, which is 0.
No, I don't think he's tilted in favor of Sibal. That's a spin on some people. He didn't want to let down Sibal, so he played around. And you know, his conduct was unbecoming of an economist. See, he played around with words because he was trying to protect Sibal, because supposing he had said, no, that's not correct. Sibal's people immediately started demanding resignation of Sibal. But as an economist, you should know that even if you don't have an auction, there is a concept in economics called opportunity cost. And I'm sure he knows what that is, because he's a trained economist.
So how does one understand what this opportunity cost is? Because I think in some of the press releases you have issued over the years now chasing this is 50,000 crore rupees.
60,000 is a crore rupees is what I've estimated is the bribe.
CAG says 1.76 lakh crores, 1.76 lakh crores of presumptive losses. Yeah, and all these words are important: presumptive, notional.
Yeah.
So, how does the public understand this?
Well, public should understand that those who got the licenses, some of them sold it to other companies who didn't apply for the licenses, couldn't have got it anyway if they had applied. And they got 7 times or 8 times that amount. In the case of Tata's, they got 13 times when they sold to Docomo, you see. So the total revenue is about 12,000 crores in the 2G scam on this first come, first serve basis. So you multiplied that by 8-9 times, you already crossed 100,000. Then they also took into account, the CAG took into account the this dual technology, CDMA and all that. And then there's some unused spectrum. They put it all together, it came to 1,76,000. But let me tell you, they also said that by some other methods of estimating, it comes to 60,000 crores. I would say the people should understand it this way. Had this been genuinely auctioned, they would have got 1,76,000 or thereabouts extra. But that doesn't mean the bribe was 1,76,000
All right.
crores. The bribe, according to me, is about 35% of that, which is about 60,000 crores.
In the Prime Minister's interaction with the editors, one thing was a constant refrain, which is that a lot of the governance deficit we are seeing in this country today can be blamed to 2 things. Most critically, the compulsions of coalition politics or coalition governments, and also, to a much lesser degree, the realities or the constraints that democracy poses. Dr. Subramanian, this is something that Indians are getting used to, as explanations for why we don't have good governance. What is the way out of this? Not as a politician, but as an academician.
See, there was Morarji Desai was very decisive. He went out in 2.5 years. I mean, we came with a huge mandate. But he wouldn't agree to some of the demands of the coalition partners. So he had to go. I mean, he did a lot of good work, but he had to go. Same thing with Chandrasekhar, who is a brilliant Prime Minister for 7 months. In fact, the economic reforms was not brought by either Narasimha Rao or by Manmohan Singh. It was actually prepared by me with the full backing of Mr. Chandrasekhar, but we couldn't implement it. But he had to leave in 7 months.
So you're saying the way out is to sacrifice government and do elections as frequently as possible.
Let the people say, tire the people out and tell them that, listen, you want decisive government, you elect people in that kind of majority. You can't just go into these caste groupings and so on and so forth. I would say if I were Manmohan Singh, and I'm not, I know Manmohan Singh enough to know that he and I are like chalk and cheese. But if I was Manmohan Singh, I'll say, risk it on something. Supposing he had risked it on this spectrum scam and said, I'm going to for elections, I can't delay this, and I will not take Raja again as a minister. Let there be another election. I think he would have got a bigger majority.